What's up, everyone? Welcome to Barstool Breakdown, episode 44. And once again, we got a great episode for you today. If you are not subscribed, though, hit that subscribe button for us, please. We got a bunch of people still listening to the podcast that aren't subscribed. Just hit that subscribe button for us, then hit the like, drop a comment, get us in the algorithm. We appreciate all you guys out there. Again, great interview today with a guy who's done a ton of stuff at Barstool. You know him as Spider. Let's get it.
Get sturdy as fuck. This is it.
I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. And baby, even on the worst nights, I'm into you.
All right, we're here with a very special guest. You know him from Rubbing His Racing, also as the winner of Barstool's Most Dangerous Game. It's Barstool's utility player. It's Spider. How we doing, brother?
Good, man. I appreciate that flattering ass entrance, man. I'm happy to be here. Good to see you guys. Saw you at Ruff and Rowdy. Jonathan, I appreciate your participation. Frankie, your attendance was appreciated. And yeah, it's good to chop it up with you guys. I know I've been kind of leaving you on red for a while in regards to my appearance on the show, so it's good to be here.
Yeah, you sure have, man. What the fuck?
Yeah,
what's your problem?
Spider.
Spider, you know I can take a punch, so I'm gonna talk a little shit. Come on, man. What was that about? Come on. Why are you leaving us on red?
It's just a matter of, like, there's a lot of moving parts, you know, like we live crazy lives, as you guys have probably seen a lot of. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, we've been chasing you guys around. So we kind of get the gist of it.
If anyone's going to get a pass, it's this guy. Like I called him Barstool's utility player because you're doing everything. So I never know if you're running with Jerry after dark or you're going to Nashville or whatever. I'm like, this guy's everywhere. How do you? How are you in New York and then you're in Chicago? Then you're in. I'm just like this guy. So
wait. Before we dive too far in, I gotta be cliche here. I gotta stick to what we built this program on, Spider. We always ask a guest. The first question is always, an ode to the clubhouse. I've said it too many times. Neely Boy's been sucked off too much on this show. But what got you into Barstool, man? I mean, I looked at your past. You were an ESPN wire runner. You were fucking a production assistant, and then in between there, you were driving around golf carts. So, what got you into Barstool, and like, what created this Spider, this superhuman utility man, like Frankie said? Like, what got you into this?
So, I grew up in Bristol, Connecticut, home of ESPN, which is kind of very close by there. A lot of my family friends worked in production roles or even like executive roles or various other jobs. And basically I heard of this job called a runner where you get basically hit up. I keep saying the word basically. Apparently, bear with me. So they hit you up and they're like, hey, for example, like Rutgers is playing Notre Dame in Piscataway, New Jersey. I see that you live at the time I was a student at Fordham in the Bronx. So from Bronx to New Jersey, I was within the radius. They called me and it would be random shit. So sometimes, like for that instance, I was holding one of those circular microphones on the sideline of a football game.
I've done it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So basically I was lucky to parlay some connections I had from my hometown into the whole sports media thing. I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. And college was a great entry point. I would implore everyone to try to become a runner or experience that, even if it's just a one-time contract gig and you only do it for a weekend. What I do love. Sorry, go ahead, Jonathan.
No. I was just gonna like build on that point real quick because this is like a very minute point. Like a lot of people don't work sports production in their hometown, but I did as well for BCSN, Buckeye Cable Sports Network. I ran the mic on the sidelines. I was running wires for everybody. That shit is a ton of fun, and it also helps you get into your local like schools and shit.
Exactly.
Like, it makes you care about it more. Yeah, I'm sorry, to interrupt.
No, you're good.
That is like a lot of people should follow that mantra and like actually like go get involved in your community and try sports production there and see if you love it. And
I agree wholeheartedly, and you really hit the nail on the head. It exposes you to shit that you really wouldn't prepare yourself for. Like when they hit me up and say, hey, do you want to do the US Open tennis? At the time, I really didn't. I wasn't much of a tennis fan. And then it turned into being one of my favorite events and still hold it near and dear to my heart. That job was sick though, because like I said, most of the time they hit me up and it would be 2 to 3 days. The US Open was a month-long production. So that was a fat check. And as a college kid, it was awesome. So while I was at Fordham, my roommate, I became friends with Tommy Smokes, and we moved in together for our senior year. And at that same time, he was one of the first Barstool New York interns in our New York City office.
Was he an
And
intern when you moved in with him, or after you moved in, he became an intern?
I want to say no. I think I was riding coattails. I think he was in with Barstool before I was friends with him, if I do remember correctly. I
Gotcha.
could be wrong. We'll have to ask Tommy when he comes on the show. But
Yeah, put in a word for us, will you?
Seriously.
yeah, I'll nudge him. So he was my roommate my senior year. The ESPN gigs were awesome. I loved doing that, and it was great. But at the same time, I needed a full time, big boy job. I respect. That being said, I don't want to discredit anyone who does that full time. As Jonathan and I can both attest to, that takes a lion heart mentality. You got to be a real dog, a real hard worker. So I respect the fuck out of anyone who does that full time.
There was a reason I quit, Spider. They don't pay enough. Local
Well,
TV
so-
doesn't pay enough, so I started serving tables, and that's how I got,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed because Barstool is a place where I can still kind of build on some of that shit that I did, whether it be, driving people to the set, setting up cameras or moving equipment, or some of the most shit. Like, I'm not above anything. I'm happy to do whatever. And
Right. It's not that I didn't love the work. It's more so shit. I need some fucking change in my pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And luckily, I've been very fortunate. Barstool has provided me with kind of the desired lifestyle as well as compensation, as you're alluding to. So it's worked out well. And then, so Tommy got me my internship at Barstool.
What year was that, if you don't mind me
I
asking?
graduated Fordham in 2018. So like right around this time, I spent the summer of 2018 interning for Barstool. And then I became full-time, I think September 1st, if I'm not mistaken. I got an anniversary coming up. It might have already passed, but either way. And then really since then, it's like I've been in a time machine. Like time flies. You take a deep breath and it's like 2029. I don't even know. So but it's been a wild ride. It's been really fun. And I still get to do a lot of the cool shit that I really started cutting my teeth with. The golf course thing was actually my first job ever. So I used to just be a cart boy for a golf course in Harwinton, Connecticut. Shout out Fairview Farm Golf Course. And that's another job. If anyone, your demographic is probably all people around our age. So I'm giving advice to people that don't need it. But anyway,
might be a little younger, maybe. I would hope so. Maybe we're influencing the youth. Who knows?
I was
Spider?
gonna say, I'm a teacher. Some of my students found this shit somehow. So
It's
Yeah.
not chicks. I think YouTube says we got like 2% chicks.
Yeah.
So don't worry about
just-
the chicks.
it's probably my wife and my sister and possibly my aunt and my mom, but that's about it.
well, I didn't mean to be jumping to conclusions, but
No, you're good, dude. You're good.
yeah, it's just like, wait, I forgot where I was even going with that point. What was I saying?
The
You're
golf
basically
cart.
saying like
and
people,
job.
if you
Yeah.
have a chance, like go ahead and like work in your
Yeah.
community, like get used
So
to it.
like that was my thing. I knew I wanted to do sports for work, and I've been lucky every step of the way, including my first job at the golf course, which was sweet. And really all I had to do was I think we had 80 golf carts. So I would just, make sure they were charged, washed, clean, staged where they needed to be. But there was a lot of
Ripping on those
downtime.
things. You were definitely
Yeah.
ripping on
Oh,
those
yeah.
things. No
Oh,
doubt.
The best was the golf course had substantial terrain. So if you got there, if you worked the
Yes.
morning shift and there was a little dew on the grass and you
Dude.
locked up the brakes, forget it. It's a great time. But no, both those jobs. The other job while I'm here preaching career advice, I feel like Erica Nardini, right? Or Erica, excuse me, right now. Become a viceroy. If there's anyone out there listening to this podcast, I would say the viceroy program at Barstool is one of the most best pipelines ever. I was a viceroy. I'm not sure that that's what got me my job here ultimately. Maybe it is, but pretty much every intern we have come through our doors, every intern this summer has been a viceroy. Our viceroy program is our college affiliate program where we have account managers tweeting and running post pertaining to, each school's university. You guys have seen them, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
shout out Diego. One of our guys is
Diggs, yeah.
Texas Tech.
I mean,
Viceroy.
it's a
He got
shortcut.
an interview at PMT to be the intern there. He didn't get it,
Yeah,
but he got in the door. You know what I mean?
right. There
How
you
many
go.
people
So
didn't even get that?
the amount of people that hit me up and are like, I would do anything to work at Barstool. I'm like, there's your ticket.
There's your anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, that's not, for everyone. It
Yeah,
takes,
unless you're like 30 and
yeah. But I mean, there's plenty of ways. I think we should, like, those are like intern roles we hire for. We hire, normal, like average Joes all the time. So,
Normal average Joes.
Yeah,
well, I'm
Liam
saying like
Blutman.
not like
no, he
college-
just described
I
to
know.
us. He just
I'm just
described
kidding.
Liam Blutman. That's what he did. He said we hire Blutman
Yeah.
because he made a great Twitter account, and also
Actually,
look at the kid.
Say that's the
I have
furthest
no
from a normal
idea how
average Joe.
old Blutman is. I couldn't tell you anything about his age or anything.
His
for
birthday
sure.
just passed.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think he's
Yeah, but I don't know how. Like,
No, yeah, he could be 22, but he could be 32. I get what you're
Right.
saying for sure.
He might
Right.
be 40.
but that I feel like that's the case about a lot of people. Like, I feel like I don't know if like me sitting here saying I'm 28. Like, there's some people stunned by that. Who knows? Barstool,
kinda am,
it
yeah.
ages you. It ages you like crazy. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's fun. It's incredible.
No,
Yeah,
I mean
well-
maybe it's the beard. Maybe that's what it is. Go ahead, Frankie. Sorry.
No, I was going to say he was talking about Barstool aging him. You had brought up Fordham earlier, which is where you went to school. You brought up Tommy Smokes. I'm sure if people are listening to this podcast, they probably know. But just in case they don't, familiarize them with the Fordham Pussy Patrol, the FPP, please.
Yeah, so I mentioned a lot about Tommy, but also another Barstool employee, Jack Mack, who works in New York, was
Sure.
also right there alongside
Friend of
us
the
the whole
program.
time. Another good friend of Tommy and I's in college, and still a good friend now. So, again, another reason to be fortunate for the opportunity I have is some of my best friends from college I get to work with, not as closely anymore since moving to Chicago, but I don't know. I really value that relationship I have with those guys. We spent a lot of time doing stupid college kid shit, being,
You sound
I
like
don't know.
you sound like you miss New York, Spider.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I miss New York. I miss my
Well, how's
guys in
that?
New York.
Yeah, how's that transition been? And like, is there anyone from the New York office you're still like, fuck, man, like, miss you?
Yeah, well, I think that will always be the case. But the good news is, like, we have several opportunities to go back. I've been back twice. We had Dale Jr. on the Rubbing His Racing recently, so I was in New York for that. So it is cool going back and getting both to play both offices. The transition's been great. I love what we're building in Chicago. We've got great energy in that office every day. I'm happy to go in and report for work. Whereas, I don't know, I feel like that wasn't always the case with my time at Barstool. Some days it's just wake up and you're like, oh my God, we got so much stuff going on. Whereas if we got a lot of stuff going on now, I'm like kind of giddy for it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
like,
know.
it's gonna be
It's
awesome.
a different, I don't know. It's different.
But it helps. It helps
Right.
that Big Cat helped build a fantasy factory there in Chicago.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Frankie and I were fortunate enough to tour, and you were there for it. And like,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
you guys saw it right at the hut, and so that's a great example of what I'm saying. So, like, previously, I would just be like super stressed out. Maybe it's because we got Paige and Caitlin and some great resources in the Chicago office that make shit happen. But that was about as busy as it could have been, and
Mhm.
I don't know. So, like, yeah, and
that was
I
the
was,
week of
I
the
was,
dozen. Yeah,
and
Yeah.
it was really like that. Or like, for example, the Olympics we did in our office last week. Like, that stuff's really fun. So
Yeah, I
anything
think-
that really brings people together is cool. And a lot of times the New York guys have been here. Tommy was here every week for advisors last year. I'm not sure what the plan is this year with that, but all the New York talent comes here or we go there. So, I mean,
Right.
as much as I miss them, it's very cool also being in a new spot and exploring Chicago, which is beautiful, by the way, for the first time as like a tourist who actually kind of lives here. So, well, I mean,
It
I do
really
live
is,
here, but-
dude. Coming like I'm from New York originally. I live in Florida now, but being in Chicago the 2 times I've been there for the dozen stuff, what a beautiful place, dude. It's incredible. Like
yeah,
the weather, like even the people, like I don't know why I figured the people were gonna be like New Yorkers, just kind of like assholes because the city, it's just not like that at all. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. But I mean, like you said, you're from that area and you got a bunch of friends there, so you're gonna miss them, even though you have such a cool place
Right.
to work,
But-
obviously.
I also spent pretty much a decade in New York. So
Yeah,
like between
right.
college and the time that I spent working for Barstool, I mean, I kind of want, I don't mean to disparage New York, but at the same time, I want to see other places.
Yeah, no,
I've
for
been
sure. I
lucky
get
that Barstool takes me to different places in terms of traveling, but it had been a long time living in New York. I kind of wanted to try something new, and I'm glad I did. It's been really cool. It's pretty much been like 14 months since I moved out here, and just in that time, like I said, exploring stuff, seeing parts of the city that I've never been to before, trying new restaurants. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, Chicago is beautiful. I can't wait to live there one day. We're gonna manifest that into existence.
Hell yeah.
There's one thing that we're kind of glossing over. It's a huge show. Partnered with NASCAR. Rubbing is racing. Let's
Yep.
get into that, Spider. I mean, okay, as a casual, talk me into NASCAR, and also
Yeah.
like why are these NASCAR playoffs coming up so important, and why does everyone have to tune in?
Well, I mean, so for example, we've had numerous races this year. We probably had four or five photo finishes between the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. So, like, you can go watch F1 and watch Max Verstappen win 9 out of 10 races and watch him do it by half a mile. That's, to me, that's not racing.
They care about second and third place in that shit. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, and again, you said as a casual fan, that's kind of what Rubbin' is Racing is. Large and I are two Northeast, East Coast guys. We're not NASCAR experts by any means. We're lucky with the opportunity before us, and we try to take new casual people on the fence about racing on those experiences with us. So that's really been the name of the game. And Large and we're not doing the podcast for NASCAR purists that watch the race every weekend. It's people like yourself, Jonathan, that are like, oh, I know what NASCAR is. I never really given it a shot. And yeah, the playoffs is just the most dramatic thing ever. For example, this past Sunday,
Dude, that
Austin
fucking crash.
Yeah, Austin Dillon, who was 32nd in points this year. He's having a tough season. Him and his teammate Kyle Busch are struggling. He had an unreal day at Richmond on Sunday, and he was leading laps like he looked like the driver we haven't seen in years out of Austin Dillon. And late in the race, a car crashes in the back of the pack. So Austin Dillon's win is in jeopardy with like 3 or 4 laps to go. He restarts in second. And then Joey Logano's first. Denny Hamlin gets by him on the restart. At this point, Austin Dillon in the 3 car is third. If he's going to make his way into the playoffs, he has to win that race with 1 lap to go. And he somehow managed to get to Joey Logano's bumper, wreck Joey Logano, and then Denny Hamlin was coming by him, and he got into Denny, put him in the fence, and he won the race. Now, today, news broke that they're not allowing the win to count for playoff eligibility. But that's what I mean. There's drama every single weekend. If it's not a photo finish, they're wrecking someone for the win. If it's not a wreck for the win, they're fighting after the race. Like Joey Logano getting on the mic talking trash about Austin Dillon and the move that he pulled was like cinema. That was like WWE, but not scripted. I also think we have a massive partnership. Well, I don't think this. I know we have a massive partnership with DraftKings. I think NASCAR, personally, in my opinion, is one of the most lucrative sports to bet on. There's nothing like nailing an outright winner betting NASCAR, of course, responsibly. But yeah,
go ahead, brag.
What do you mean? Name like some of my hits?
Yeah, this year. What do you got this year? What'd you hit?
Oh man, I haven't actually had that great of a year.
I
think William Byron and Christopher Bell earlier this year. I don't know explicitly which tracks they were at, but those are I
remember Byron winning early. He was very early. He won an early one. Yeah,
he's kind of cooled off, but that's the thing. There's other drivers that come out of nowhere, and like who would have thought Austin Dillon would have been the car to beat on Sunday? But I think the NASCAR efforts. Sorry, go ahead, Frankie.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't bet. I just started betting golf just recently, and I learned that you have to bet like multiple golfers to win because you never know. Whatever. Is that what you do? Do you bet like multiple cars potentially to win, or do you pick like just a couple? Or
typically I have like 2 or 3 outright winners, and then I'll have a bunch of top 5, top 10s.
Yeah, I like those.
Or head-to-heads. But that's the beauty of NASCAR as well. If you don't want to take a guy outright to win, you can do top 3, top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jonathan?
A quick explain it to John. Sorry to interrupt. Explain it to John. Phases. I don't understand that. If one phase, two phase, three phase, why?
Stages.
Yeah, stages. There you go. See, I
Yeah.
told you,
So it's
casual.
very
Spider. I'm
controversial.
learning the sport. Yeah.
Basically, NASCAR is run on sponsors, partners, etc. One of which, the biggest ones, is the TV. The TV networks have massive. They dictate a lot of what happens on the broadcast.
Frank, he just say that NASCAR has massive dicks.
No, I almost said NASCAR was dictators, but I had
Oh,
to rephrase my words there. They are certainly not. Anyways, the stage racing was implemented for numerous reasons. A lot of people feel strongly about this one way or the other, but it results in better competition and more commercial breaks. Like I said, the TV networks have a lot of say in the production of the races. They want to be able to sell commercials, commercial time, and what better way than a mandatory stage break? Also, in terms of competition, I just shat on F1. I don't like F1 for the very reason that Max Verstappen can win by 3 laps on any given weekend.
right. You have the
This
best car for the
prevents
year.
that.
That's boring.
Exactly. If you're the best car in this race, that's great for stage 1. But if you better come out in stage 2 and prove to us that you deserve to be up front. And to me, as controversial as it is, I've grown to become accustomed to this style of racing. I kind of like it. Are there times where I wish it wasn't the case? Sure, but you can't just cherry pick the good and bad parts of NASCAR. You're never going to end up with a realistic product. So
Right. They're doing more and more to build the game, as people would say about football and basketball. There's so much that the commissioners can do to build the game and support the sport. And I feel like Rubbin and Racing has done a good job with NASCAR to go ahead and promote that brand and show there's a real side to NASCAR, like people getting punched in the face on pit road or, celebrating victory lap. But, there's two sides. There's a double-edged sword. But yeah, it is like, it's a bunch of casuals really watching the sport. And I think that you guys show a great light on that. And like, hey, like this sport can be for anyone. And hey, why not win a little money on it? So yeah, once I learn how to bet stages, I'll be all in. I just keep telling Quiggs. He had a good year last year.
He's a NASCAR sharp. Yeah, you're right. Last year he was a little bit more hot than he was this year. But
yeah,
second, they just had a 2-week Olympic break. Kind of the second portion of the season is starting now. So I feel good about where we're at. I think we're going to be giving some winners real quick.
Who's winning it all?
So I have 2 futures out right now. I got I got Kyle Larson, who won in 2021, as well as William Byron, who drives the 24 car. I think the 24 car in 2024. He doesn't look as strong as he did to start the season. He didn't. He kind of tapered off a little bit, but like I said, second half of the season, we're all getting a second wind. I like William Byron and Kyle Larson futures on DraftKings for this year. So hopefully one of those 2 guys.
I'll tell you right now, I'm putting it on 24. It's Kobe year.
I like that.
It all comes together with Kobe, the guy above my left shoulder. Speaking of my left shoulder and my left hand, we got to get into something a little personal to me because I got my ass whooped on Friday night. Spider, I got beat up and you didn't do anything about it. What the hell happened?
I mean, I'm not.
It was a blast. I was proud to be a part of it, and I'm saying that I'm being tongue in cheek. I'm playing myself down. I think I did okay. I think I showed, like, I went in the green room and I didn't tell. Dave said on the broadcast that I came in the green room and promised a knockout. What I said, and I'm sure Liam or Bubba he was recording when I walked in there. What I said is, if this is the last R&R, I'm going to put on a show. And I didn't go down. I took a bunch of hits and I stayed up and coming forward, man. That's
Big
all
Cat
I
said you put on a show. He said it on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I think you got nothing to be upset about, Jonathan. I think getting in the Ruff and Rowdy ring is a W in itself, regardless of what the scorecards say. Ruff and Rowdy is one of my favorite things we got going. And I personally think we'll be back doing it. I don't have any inside info on that. I don't know anything about
numbers.
Okay, well, you know more than me, it sounds like. But I'm glad you got an opportunity to do it. I think that's one of the coolest things we got, and I stand by the fact anyone who gets in the ring is a winner in their own capacity. Your guys' match was great boxing, technical boxing match. I mean, this is meant to be amateur boxing, and you guys both looked like you knew what you were doing. So I think you got a lot to be, satisfied with. You should be impressed with yourself.
Yeah. So I will say this. So here's a little insight. It's gonna come out. I have a vlog coming out. I don't know which one I'm gonna release first, this episode or the vlog. But they'll both be around this weekend. I'm standing backstage, and it's just me in my headphones, and I'm looking to my left, and this kid's got two coaches. They're just standing backstage with them, sitting there talking to him. So then and there, I'm like, okay, this kid's like, and he put on his boxing jacket. He's got his gym represented. I'm like, ah, fuck, this motherfucker knows how to throw. He played pretty coy the whole way. I didn't know anything about him. You can't find anything on his name, so it's like shit. I don't know anything about the kid. So of course I'm going to promote it and talk my shit the way I do. For those that are like, oh shit, you talked a big game. It's like, I still went out there and like, I didn't get put down by anybody. This kid looked trained. He looked sharp. And I sat there, took my hits, and was still coming forward. Like, I'm proud of the performance I put on. I feel like if I do get a chance to do it again, if there's an R&R 26, put my name in the fucking ring and make me a top billet, because I'm coming out and I'm not going to disappoint anymore. I'm done with the disappointing shit. I did that enough for my mom and my father for all these years. You know what I mean? Like we're over this,
bro. You're way too hard on yourself, man.
No. That was a joke. I was really just trying to make the people feel bad, because I did get beat up a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My left cheek's been a little cut up. I'm chewing everything on the right side for a little bit. It's been one of those. Yeah.
I feel you. I mean, I still got some neck pain from that camera. I don't know. I think I pinched a nerve or something. But yeah, Ruff and Rowdy's a battle. I think it's one of the best things that we get to do. And I mean, I love it. I love that you got to experience it. I don't love that, the result. I wish it would have went differently. But I also exactly. And I think everyone in there had a blast too. Like every Ruff and Rowdy I've been lucky to go to is the crowd just seemingly is. I mean, I'm technically working, but to be a fly on the wall in the crowd, like the last row in Wheeling, West Virginia, and just watching it all would be scenes.
Yeah, no, I will say thanks a lot to Devin, because he didn't catch me on the first night, for the weigh-ins and all that. But the next night I'm sitting there waiting in line, ready to get my breathing physical or whatever they do before they send you off to put your gloves on. And Devin walks up. He's like, "Oh, Sando, sorry I missed you the other day." I was like, "Yeah, it's Sands," but I was fucking with him. But he's like, he's like, "How many VIP passes do you need?" So having my girlfriend, my mom, Frankie, and Big Twan sitting there fucking VIP right next to Jersey Jerry and Dave, and you guys calling the fight, all of my boys got the best experience. I had, a group of stoolies come out and support me. Fucking great. And I don't think, all of them, they'll lie to you and tell them I didn't let them down. But I went out and I didn't get put down. I didn't back up my shit talk. So next time I'm going to have to. And if there is a next one, I would like my hat to be thrown in the ring. I'll say that now. The only thing that I'll change is I'll get a fucking trainer. I won't train myself. All you guys saw was just me being me. That's just Sando. So imagine if I was tuned up.
Is there anyone in the Barstool universe that you care to call out for the next Ruff and Rowdy?
Shit. If I could call someone out, man. I don't want to beat anyone up. At Barstool,
You've done this before.
I love you guys. I love you guys.
You've called out.
No. Not necessarily someone I work with. Maybe I don't know. Do you guys have any ops on the Barstool breakdown or Shoe Nice?
Shoe Nice.
Yeah, he's like a yak. I'm a big yak guy. He's hated in the yak chat and stuff.
What's crazy, and this is honestly a compliment to us, is we don't have a ton of trolls. So far we've built a solid fan base.
I think there's
1,500 loyal people that we love us, and we haven't really been shitted on like that. So it's not I don't know, if someone wants to fight me, go ahead. Call me out. Why not? You saw me get beat up.
I guess we'll leave it to Devin to do the matchmaking. As you said, he does a great job with Ruff and Rowdy as is. So
there's only two people, in my opinion, that dislike this show or us.
Rico Bosco.
Yeah, enlighten me.
That's one.
Rico doesn't fuck with us. Rico thinks we have an agenda. There's no agenda, Bosco. The agenda is to support the school and the pirate ship.
Push Barstool as far as it can go. That's it. And everybody.
I love that. That's what's running through his head, though. That's so on brand for him.
Well, I think the other person that I'm talking about feels the same exact way.
And that would be
Kelly Keegs.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and that's because we're friends
Kelly's
with
defense.
We had Tatum.
In Kelly's defense, I would just say that I understand why she has, skepticism and her guard up for certain things. I
I'm
wouldn't
pretty-
take that personally.
No,
No,
I am
we
going to
we
take
have
it
an
personally
episode
because
titled.
yeah,
We have an
No,
episode
the
titled
picture-
"Long Live the Breakdown." Barstool Radio's dead. Like,
and in the picture
that's
is
how it
Kelly's is the picture that Tate put up that says lazy above Kelly's head, and I'm in the video like this, which it's a little out of context, but clearly
it's tough.
it
Editing.
looks like we don't like her, which is not
I'm
the case.
I'm
at
gonna
all,
give
but-
both Kelly and Rico a FaceTime as soon as we're off here, and I'll change their opinion
Just
of
do it
this.
right
so.
now. Just do it right now.
No.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
We'll give
You're
them
live,
some
Tate.
time.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
No, the thing is, I am a rider. I love Bosco. I want Bosco to
Me
do
too,
well, but
man.
also when you go off the rails, I'm gonna be like, hey man, you went off the rails.
I think this feud might be good.
Yeah.
I think you guys should spin zone this somehow. I'm not sure how, but
Well, I don't
I
want to
don't
threaten
know.
to beat up Bosco, so I
Yeah.
can't do it that way. You know? What I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. No,
All right,
I
like
actually think I reached out to Marty and was like, "Hey, Marty, I can't get Bosco on to bother his nerves since I lost R&R. So why don't you come on?" But no. I'm a fan of Rico's. I really am. But for some reason, he thinks we have an agenda. So I want to talk about the agenda. That's all. And some would say,
well,
I'm not going to say list, but someone say we want to talk about a list. That's all.
he's running
Spider,
out
I
of
got-
ink for that list.
I got two more quick things if you got some time still.
Yeah, I got some time. What do you got?
All right. Actually, here's a really quick one. What number employee are you? Do you know?
Ooh.
I think I'm right around the 100 mark. Ideally, I'm 99, so I can be Aaron Judge's number. But realistically, I think I'm probably like 100 to 110, somewhere
Wow.
in there.
I thought you were earlier than that. Wow.
No, they had made a bunch of like these pennies, but not pennies, like a quarter zip, and on the back behind,
Right,
like
yeah.
it said the little number of which employee you were. And when I first started working there, I want to say like the most recent ones I saw people get were like 70 to 80. I would have loved one, but
Stephen
I'm happy
Che
to,
is like a super early. We had him on one of the earlier episodes in our
yeah.
We were shocked at how
podcast
early he
history,
was.
and he was like 18. I was like, what? It was
Yeah,
crazy.
because he started on the business side and then
Yeah.
worked his way over. So he's been there a long, long time. But I kind of wish that tradition was still going. Granted, I think like 234 on the back of your quarter zip, people would be like, "What the hell does it like?" I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's
It's just
like-
me. Like when it was more of a jersey, that's kind of I like that idea.
Barstool
But-
Squid Games. You guys just do your
Yeah,
employee numbers.
Honestly, that could work too. I'm
Actually
just happy
sounds
to have
sick
it.
now that I
see
say it out loud.
yeah, I'm sure we'll probably do that at some point.
I have two final questions. I'm gonna do a selfless plug here because we do have an unofficial official sponsor. Shout out
Please.
Ash Cigars. Ash Cigars. They made he made me this. It says Barstool Sports with Sandman on the other side. It's a nice cigar holder. Ash
yeah.
Cigars, Kyle Potter, my boy. I got Bukas over there in the other room. I still gotta send it to him. I was gonna take it to R&R, but I didn't think he was coming, and then he showed up last second. That'll be part of the vlog as well. So tune into the vlog. But Spider, two last questions. The first one's a two-parter. We play this with every guest.
Sure.
Hype someone up and talk a little shit.
Hmm.
Like hype someone up and then talk a little shit on someone. We play with every
All
guest.
right.
literally
Wait,
every
let me
guest.
get both my answers straight before I give you one. All right, yeah. I think the intern class right now in the Chicago office is incredible. Between
If you say Hannah, we all know Hannah.
Hannah,
Yeah.
Annika, even down to the production people. Nate and Emily are both rock star editors. You guys probably aren't super familiar with them, but like I've been wildly impressed. I'm not sure who did the hiring for or like who dictates who gets the internships, but they did a pretty good job at least in the Chicago office. I can't attest to the New York office. I have yet to meet any of those interns.
I'm
in
pretty sure
terms of-
KFC Radio has like Mike Francesa's son.
Oh
so-
yeah, as well as 15-year-old Steve, who's like probably like 26 at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Shout out 15-year-old Steve or however old you are. But shit on someone.
Yeah. Talk a little shit.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a second. I'll give you some. I'm trying to make it a good one because I can definitely. If there's one thing about me, I love giving people smoke. So I'm just trying to figure out who deserves it. This is tough, man. Usually there's a name right at the top of my
You've been
head.
the ref of everything. There's not one person that just gives you a little too much slack. It's like, shut up, quit bitching. I'm the ref. Like, come on, you've been in charge. Of it
Okay,
all.
yeah, okay. I will say the yellow team, or was it the yellow team?
And I know who you're going to say. I was going to say, hopefully you're not going to say who I think you're going to say, but you're going to say the captain of the yellow team, aren't you?
Which is?
I'm not saying it.
I don't
He's
even
a good
remember.
guy. I don't care. He's a good guy, not an asshole.
Yeah.
See, I told you, good guy.
Honestly, it was Titus and Tate that were jawing at me the most during the officiating.
The Ohio
also-
guys.
State.
Yes,
Fucking
that's
Ohio
Ohio
State.
Oh, you know
guys.
what? Now I got some shit to talk. As well as
Yes.
Stephen Che and Ebo are also getting penalized.
Evo, really?
Ebo's my guy. I love Ebo to death. I hate to disparage him, but at the same time, we're doing pre-production. I'm trying to explain the rules before we go live, and no one was listening. I mean,
Che was talking about
Frankie, you're a teacher. Tate was a teacher. I mean, I expect a little bit of respect. We also had another production person working in there for the first time, like a public speaking setting. And all of our content people are just being wildly disrespectful, talking to themselves. It set me off. So those guys are all on my shit list, but that's all short-term shit. That's just because they made the reffing job a little bit harder and they weren't quite paying attention, but nothing against them personally. Ebo, I especially love to death. And I think he should have actually been mentioned in terms of an underrated guy because he's a dog. He's a weapon. Whether it be like
we saw him hit
production
fucking
or
dingers.
social stuff. Or exactly. Or the athletic feats, whether it be coming in for Reegs or at Jersey Jerry a home run.
College football, the video game, he just bodied. Who'd he body?
It's a dog. Shout out Ebo. You guys should have Ebo on.
I was just gonna say I've been trying to get him on.
Yeah.
We've had literally all of mostly sports besides Titus and Ebo. They're the only ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna nominate Ebo
Brandon
to come on next.
There it is. Yeah, we'll take that.
And then
we got to make sure Tommy too, because we got to finish off the Ford and Pussy Patrol. We've already had you and Jack Mac, so we need the tripod to be complete.
There you go.
But you mentioned something about being something. Oh, you said that the reffing job was harder because of those guys, and one of my questions was about part of your job that was hell, in my opinion, at least. I want to just ask you about it because I became the biggest stool or a bigger stoolie and one of the biggest stoolies that you could probably know now by starting a podcast about Barstool, talking to Barstool people during COVID. I was already like familiar with Barstool and like PMT and stuff, but over COVID, I watched every episode of Stool Scenes, learned everybody, and it just became like my obsession after that. You were like the person that I would shout out on Twitter when I first got it or whatever all the time. I was like, shout out Spider, fucking legend, whatever. And it was because of the unboxings.
Yeah.
And I can imagine your life was probably fucking hell during that time. Maybe not, but I just want to know what the experience was during that time because that was insane.
A wild time. I would say it was kind of, I don't know if hell is the right word. Looking back, I kind of loved that time of my life. It was fun. It was a bizarre time, like walking through New York and there would be like 10 people on the street tops. Like it was straight up like apocalyptic. But the unboxing is one, I think, I don't mean to sound shitty when I say this, but COVID was a massive shortcut for me professionally. I think it helped me get a lot of respect inside of the Barstool office. Not to disparage any of my colleagues, but a lot of people were understandably reluctant to show face or come in each day. And there was still work to be done, especially there was stuff that could have been taken care of in the office. And I think me just making myself available regardless of whatever circumstance, one was probably a little bit dumb and irresponsible, I guess is the word. But two,
but so was the whole fucking company.
Yeah. But like I said, I stand by the fact I think I made tremendous headway in that time, as bizarre and weird as it was. The unboxings were incredible. I'd never wished for that to happen again, but after Dave's address got leaked on the internet, it just each day more and more packages came, and it was just a bizarre time. Like we had literally the mailman had their own truck, and like 90% of the packages on the truck the last day were coming to Dave's apartment. So it required a lot of hands-on myself, Kareem, Serve Pro, Manhattan, all the mail service providers you can name, USPS, FedEx, UPS, everyone. The landlord of the buildings.
Didn't the building give you guys like a wait warning at one point because there was too much stuff, or was Dave just making shit up to try to not get packages? Because that was crazy.
I never was privy to that, but I wouldn't.
He mentioned that on one of the unboxings. He's like, guys, you can't, like, I'm not even going to get any more up here. They said they're not allowed to bring anything else up here. The floor is going to collapse.
Yeah.
Like, Dave just says shit sometimes, but who the fuck knows?
I mean, it was chaotic. It was chaotic.
You guys were walking over boxes. I remember that's when I learned, like, he was like, spiders back there walking over boxes. And I was like, holy shit, spiders back there? Like, that's how I learned you were there, like a couple episodes in.
Yeah, it was really fun. Also, shout out my guy, Trey. I can't talk about unboxing without Trey. We needed some extra hands late in the unboxing era, and my guy Trey Fledging, who's one of our best editor graphic guys at Barstool, he works in the shadows, but he is an absolute weapon, and he stepped up to the plate. And I mean, again, I wouldn't want to go back to the COVID era, but looking back on it now, it was a fun, weird, bizarre time in which I think I don't know. I went to work every day and was like excited. What's gonna be in the boxes today? Or like I don't know. It was just such a bizarre time. But
is Dave gonna slice his hand open or catch 25 cheese balls in his
or
mouth?
am I gonna slice my hand open? But yeah,
remember the cheese balls too, dude? What a fucking crazy time. That was just the most wild.
The COVID content era.
Live animals. That's right.
It was no, but I honestly feel as though some of our best content came out of that. Not ever, but
dude, some good shit though, dude. Especially during that time.
Some of my favorite stuff that I've been here. Well, during my tenure at Barstool that I've been here for, a lot of it came from the unboxing. Whether it be Big Cat doing the horse racing, or even I feel like Coach Doug's was booming during then. And then you mix in Dave's frozen pizza reviews and his unboxings and. I don't know. I was really impressed with the ability for Barstool to be nimble and kind of stay on top of things as the world around us kind of crumbled. So it was cool.
It's something us Stoolies have admired about, those of us that have been like along for the ride for, a little bit of time now. Something we admire about the pirate ship is no matter the climate, the propellers keep moving.
That's right.
We keep turning, we keep going forward. And that's what I have to do after R&R. That's what the pirate ship always does. And I'm gonna circle it. My last question wasn't really a question, it was just a thank you for the support you've given us. Every time we see you in person, you're the fucking man. You're always willing to say hello, sit next to Frankie, take a pic, whatever, act like we're involved. And we love that, and we appreciate you behind the scenes, helping us out as much as you have. So thank you for coming on, and thank you for the few times we've actually seen you. And like when we do nudge you, you're always a good dude. You're the ultimate glue guy, and you inspire the rest of us to be, a part of the team. Because we see what kind of teammates they hold up there, and that's incredible. So thanks again, and thanks for coming on, Spider. We appreciate
absolutely. I appreciate the invite. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate what you do for us, and I wish you continued success. Keep giving them hell. I will work on all the promised guests that I told you I would reach out to.
It's the Bar Stool breakdown. Go ahead and give it to me. Breakdown, let's listen to those guys. Breakdown, what's happening at Barstool this week?